Hello, and welcome back to another video. If you're looking for recommendations on what manhwa to read, then here are some that I've read recently that might be of interest. Manhwa titles are timestamped in the video for your convenience. Our first manhwa for today is The Mage, Swallowed the Dragon, a regression manhwa that I've currently read up to chapter 94 on. Its main character is Russell Raymond, a member of the Raymond family, a founding family of the empire that he inhabits. You would think this founding family would be strong, but actually it has fallen to the lowest of lows as Russell is the last successor. Through a series of events, Russell is given another chance at life to live again through a family keepsake with added benefits. With new potential, knowledge of the future, at least enough to completely change the trajectory of his own life, and mysteries regarding his own family's past, Russell looks to have a significantly different second life. The story is 8 out of 10. What I would consider a typical action regression start for a manhwa, the initial arcs are what I would regard as standard at this point. The main positive I see is that the plot is able to actually go past the point of regression more quickly than a lot of others. Seeing a character's power grow not to an overpowered point but still quite good, then have to face the reality of not knowing the future is at least interesting enough. The characters are 6 out of 10. With what I would consider more simplistic approaches to the majority of characters, don't expect a lot of long con type strategies, but rather more straightforward motives and natures that don't hide a lot. The art is 8 out of 10. From both small scale and large scale magic, there's a variety of action scenes to witness. There's more of a focus though on war magic that is meant to be used in larger engagements. Mages are actually utilized as a force for the country within this particular story. So if you're a fan of action regression manhwas and are curious about where it could go after the main characters go past the point of regression, then put a bookmark on The Mage, Swallowed the Dragon. This next manhwa to look over is Rookie Talent Agent Knows It All, another regression manhwa that I've currently read up to chapter 141 on. The protagonist is Jung Yun-ho, a person that you would think had it all. Husband of a successful actress and vice president of a top entertainment agency. However, he was not happy and felt very empty, almost lifeless in his life. On one fateful day though, he's given a second chance at life as he seemingly regressed back to when he was a rookie manager. Seeing that he wanted to change the life he once lived, he reprioritizes what's actually important to him. For some reason also, his phone is showing calendar events for the future? The story is 7 out of 10. The basic premise of living a second life in the modern world isn't unique, and this manhwa hits the usual notes. In particular, it puts more of a spotlight on the entertainment business from its internal workings to the manager of said entertainment talents. This one in particular, though, evokes more emotion compared to a lot of other titles. The characters are 9 out of 10. While not necessarily the most fleshed out, the characters do show multiple sides of themselves. Each one has their own motives and goals, from greed to pure pursuit of the art of fame, whether it be acting, singing, etc., and there are also some adorable ones as well. The art is 8 out of 10. That adorable part of the art style really shines through for some of the characters. It's able to display the light and happy moments very vividly. It's able to showcase some of the darker plots though and emotions when the situations call for it, like for specific works that the artists are going through. And those are quite the contrast compared to its usual fluffy style. So if you're a fan of modern regression manhwas in the entertainment space but want minimal fantasy similar to Broadcast Genius Youngest Writer or Second Life Producer, then try out Rookie Talent Agent Knows It All. 100-Year-Old Top Chef is the name of our next manhwa to look over. It's a modern manhwa that I've read to completion, which is 70 chapters long. Ban Yu-hyun is the name of its main character, or at least that's who we get to know the most. The reason being is our Yu-hyun is seemingly a spirit or being of some kind that's been going through multiple lives, albeit possessing or personifying different people, with one clear goal: get an honestly ridiculous amount of Michelin stars. Who is putting up to this task? Sadly, it's unknown. But that is what we're working with here. One caveat to all of this, he's living the same timeline but as different people, and now he is Ban Yu-hyun. Will he be able to achieve the goal of these crazy Michelin stars? The story is 6 out of 10. What I would consider a more unique and attention-grabbing premise, the whole completed manhwa provides a short and sweet story, but with a somewhat rough ending that closes it but leaves you wanting more, sadly. The characters are 8 out of 10. Obsession with cooking, stars, and overall talent is something that would be used to describe our Yu Hyun. Although, he will clearly have to grow in many other ways other than just cooking to successfully reach this very lofty goal of a ridiculous amount of Michelin stars. The art is 7 out of 10. The food art and overall presentation is quite the treat. If you're a fan of cooking reality shows and like just general presentations of food, then I would implore you to see if the art is for you before trying this out. One other aspect though it points out is that the difficulty of the food industry and how competitive it can be is also kind of one of the highlights of this particular manhwa. So if you're a fan of modern manhwas and are curious about how one focused on cooking could be, like Afterlife Diner from my previous videos but without so much of that supernatural focus to it, then give 100-Year-Old Top Chef a shot. Our next manhwa to look over is The Duke's Family Is Not My Problem, a fantasy manhwa that I've kind of read up to chapter 33 on. The focus of this story is on Peryeon, the youngest daughter of the Xer family, a family that cast her out. This was after Peryeon's mother passed away, plus Peryeon not having the same hair color as the rest of her family, and she having the ability to use magic, which the Xer family is very much apprehensive of. This results in Peryeon being utilized in multiple experiments by those that took her after she was cast out, which ended up causing her a lot of trauma. After being rescued by individuals who were part of the Holy Kingdom, Peryeon becomes loyal to them and becomes a spy for them, and a very good one at that. Now being tasked with something that will have her facing her original family, what will Peryeon do? The potential is 8 out of 10. It's hard to truly gauge what Peryeon had to go through from an early age. This development to become a spy for the kingdom that saved her is an understandable undertaking. Her becoming then entangled with her original family after so many years is bound to be interesting. But will they even be receptive of it? Will they even recognize her? It's a unique and interesting premise indeed. The art is also 8 out of 10. From its initial very dark tones, considering the context, it's able to show the resolve, help, and overall joy that Peryeon is able to find in pieces of her life. While it is difficult to confront the source of her trauma, it most likely will be something that will help her move forward. So if you're a fan of following newer stories and are interested in a more unique romantic fantasy manhwa, then make sure to take a look at The Duke's Family Is Not My Problem when you get a chance. Another week, another highlight. For those unaware, this is the section of the video I update impressions for manhwa that I've previously covered. Today's highlight is The Swordmaster's Son, which I've now read up to chapter 154 on. Info card and description will have links to my original opinion. Jin Runkandel, our resident regressor, has been trying his utmost best to live a life with no regrets this time. From gathering companions that he could be proud of, to gaining power that will help him hopefully solidify and vie for a position within his own family. This latter part, though, clearly needs some work as he's seen the wall that comes with facing the reality of the power levels that members of his family truly have. He therefore seeks out the owners of the Shadow Sword, a skill that will help him achieve the next level, the Myeongwang. After struggling for what seems like years, although it's really just a couple of days or maybe some weeks at most, he's finally able to discover this solitary place where the Myeongwang reside and starts to learn from them. It isn't an action manhwa without a proper training arc, right? My previous course for this manhwa was 10 out of 10 for art, 8 out of 10 for characters, and 6 out of 10 for story. The art stays the same at 10 out of 10 as the great action sequences that I referred to previously are still very much present. Jin's growth is clearly going through another stage and the Myeongwang are exactly what he needs to evolve it further. This sword that they present to him, plus the comedic bits that the manhwa is able to fit, keep the overall art style quite fresh. The characters also stay the same at 8 out of 10 as while we don't see most of the regular cast for a while, the Myeongwang themselves have an eccentric amount of beings that will continue to entertain at least while Jin is training. We will see the regular cast though soon enough. The story goes up from 6 out of 10 to 7 out of 10, as while that feeling of getting lost is still very much there that I referred to previously, the training arc with the Myungwang has been a satisfying core that is able to focus on the moment instead of the overarching storyline. And at least for me, that is a great break from the otherwise potentially confusing plot. The Swordmaster's son does not tell the greatest or clearest story, but it very much packs a punch to display said plot. So if you're a fan of action regression manhwas and love the art style that comes with it, then I heavily recommend it. Would you agree, or would you not? Comment down below your thoughts on the Swordmaster's son. And that wraps up this week's episode. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and write down in the comment section down below what manhwa you've been reading, as I might just take a look. Till next time though, have a good read.